Hey everyone, it's Jung here for HipKit Club, and today I'm sharing a layout that is Father's Day themed and inspired by the mood board. Here's the mood board for June, and I'm going to be inspired by the black and white sketchy images as well as the quote. I really like the font, it's all uppercase, and we have a HipKit Club exclusive alpha that mimics that font perfectly, so that's what I'm going to be using as my inspiration. I'm just having a quick look through my kits, trying to see what would look good on a Father's Day layout. Since my girls are in the photo and they're wearing pink, I figure I can cheat a little bit, so I end up going with a blue and pink color scheme, which goes perfectly with the photo anyway. So the photo is a picture of my dad, my husband, and our 3 girls, and I actually took the photo last weekend because I knew I had this assignment coming up. Isn't that what we do as scrapbookers? Anyway, my layout is about how my daughters are so lucky to have these 2 men in their lives. They both love them so much, and they are just really lucky girls. So I decided that I wanted to create a lot of layers underneath my photo, and I really liked how this star crepe paper, pattern paper, looked behind the photo, and so I kind of had this idea to create a banner. So I'm just going to be fussing with this banner a bit. If you've watched any of my videos, you know the T-square ruler is my best friend, and for the life of me, I cannot cut a straight line, so I rely on my paper trimmers for everything. So it takes me quite a bit just to cut one banner. So I was inspired by those paint splatters that were already on this crepe paper. So I'm going to use the Lindy's Stamp Gang spray. I believe it's in cotton candy. We got it in a color kit a couple of months back, and I'm just going to add more splatters. Once dry, I trimmed my banner a little bit more and added some machine stitching. I decided I wanted to use that branding strip at the bottom of that strawberry paper. And now I'm just going to add some more paint splatters to my white background. I'm using a Shimmers Vibes that we got several color kits back, and it's in Snowy Man. And I'm just going to add some big drops and some little splatters across my white cardstock here. I do love the way those ink splatters are looking, and I want a couple more of them to show, so I added a few more to the top right side. And then since I'm going to have the banner to the top right, I needed to ground the layout a little bit. And so I'm going to use this piece of pattern paper that I trimmed down. I'm going to roughen the edges a little bit with my Tim Holtz tool. I am also going to trim that little branding strip that I mentioned a while ago, and I'm going to be adding that to the bottom as well. Okay, so now I'm going to work on building the layers behind my photo for my banner. I'm going to be using one of these crepe paper frames, and I'm just going to cut that in half. It looks like all the papers that I used to layer are actually from crepe paper. That pink speech bubble heart paper is the back of the star paper that I used for the banner. And then that navy and pink floral paper is the back of the polka dot paper that I'm using at the very bottom of my layout. I'm just going to be shuffling the papers around, trying to get the layers how I want them before I adhere everything down. So off camera, I went ahead and machine stitched the polka dot paper down at the bottom of my layout, and I also went ahead and adhered all the paper layers together under my photo. Now I'm going to be using this scratch piece of Paige Evans paper, and I'm going to be using my border punch. And that's just another layer of texture that I wanted to create behind my paper. And I'm keeping my color palette, as I said in the very beginning, to kind of pink and blues, black and white, or crepe paper's white, which is black and cream. I was debating whether or not to trim these thread before I attached it to the layout, but I decided to keep them messy. Usually I like to trim it off, and I prefer a cleaner look, but sometimes I like the look of loose threads. I decided to bring in this Polaroid Sentiment. It says Count Your Lucky Stars. I thought it went really well with my layout theme, and it's also in the colors that I wanted, and I fussy cut that from a crepe paper. Isn't it so weird saying crepe paper? I find it weird writing it out when I do my blog posts as well. Anyways, I'm just going to start working on my title. I'm going to be using these stickers. I think they look so cute. Blue is one of my favorite colors, and I love that the foam, if you look at it from the side, is blue as well instead of white. Just something extra, I guess. And then I'm going to use this Hip Kit Club exclusive. If you remember from the very beginning at the mood board, I told you I was inspired by the font and that they were all uppercase, which works out perfectly since these are what we get in our kits this month. So again, that is the branding strip, and I wanted to tie it in to the top and the bottom, so I tore a piece and put it at the top, and I'm going to have it at the bottom as well. Now I'm just going to look through the kits trying to decide what I could put in for embellishments. I'm going to use that pink and white Hip Kit exclusive bow. That little binder clip is from the Hip Kit Club exclusive ephemera pack. And I just like it because it looks cute with all the layers and it matches my color scheme. I'm just going to continue to adhere things to my layout. There's my best friend, the T-square ruler. You know, it has to make an appearance in every video of mine, even card making videos. I'm just adhering things down to my background, and since this is a Father's Day theme layout, I guess I'll speak a little bit about my dad. One of my favorite memories in childhood, my dad really likes to go fishing, and so every summer we would go down to the Gulf of Mexico, and we would get to go to the beach and swim and play in the sand, and I just loved it. We would get super dark. You know, we didn't care about sunblock back then, and so that was a yearly thing, and that was something I really liked to do. We really got into board games. My dad liked to do a lot of night fishing, and so me and my sister, we would play Monopoly, and those games would last forever, and those were just some of the best childhood memories for me. And I'm so glad that my dad is in my girls' lives. Both of my grandfathers had passed away before I was born, so I never knew them. And I'm also thankful that my parents live relatively close by, so we get to see them pretty often. And also, speaking on Father's Day, my husband loves our girls to the moon and back, and we try and do fun things with them on his days off. Okay, so back to my layout. I'm going to look through these crepe paper clear stickers. They're more like vellum. And I'm going to add a few stars to the layout. I really love the sketchy look of this crepe paper collection. And also, if you notice, I added a little bit of doodling to the very bottom right of my layout and a little bit behind the tag right under the bow. I did that because of the mood board, and I liked the black and white sketchy images. And at this point, I'm not really sure if I like the doodling or if I just completely messed my layout up, but later on you'll see how I kind of fix it a little bit. So I feel like the little bottom left corner where the star cluster is looking a little bare. It needs something else to balance all that's going on at the top of my layout. And so I'm just having a look through the kits, trying to see what would go there. And watching the video back, I kind of liked that flag chipboard, but I'm going to just stick with one of my die cut layered hearts. And the back heart is cut out from the Sky Polaroid pattern paper. And then the smaller heart is a Paige Evans. I also want to apologize for the lighting changes in this video. This was filmed within a couple of hours, but we had a big storm roll in and a tornado warning. So I was just wanting to get this layout done, hoping that our power didn't go out. Luckily, we just got a lot of rain and a lot of wind. So I was able to get it done. Okay, so I used some of these pink daisy stickers. I believe I put a couple on my layout. And also, if you take a look at the right side, you see those hashtag stickers, and it covers some of the doodling up, and I think that looks a lot better. And I just added a little bit of typed up journaling. And then I wanted to add the date, but of course I mess up on the date. So you can't see you see the June and the 2019, but you don't see the actual day. So then I try to fix it and I don't like the way it looks. So I decide to fix it by stamping it on a scratch piece of white cardstock and then placing this vellum sticker right on top. I'm going to fussy cut it out and then attach it to the layout right on top. And since I use the scrap piece of cardstock, you will not be able to see the messed up date. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz tiny attacher to attach that to the layout, and I think that does the job. And I now like the way the bottom looks even with all the doodling, and I'm just going to add one more hashtag word right under the count your lucky stars, and then I'm done with my layout. I'll leave a link for the HipKit Club website in the info bar below. Don't forget to check out the May kits and the June kits. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the HipKit Club YouTube channel. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.